What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sick Eric Tech, and today we're going to be going on over my final review of the Galaxy S24. This is the regular base S24. I also have the S24 Plus, which I'm using to record this video actually, and I'm going to be going on over my final thoughts of this device. So thank you guys for joining me here today. If you're new to Sick Eric Tech, please consider subscribing and clicking that bell icon that we do not miss out on future videos here on the channel. So first and foremost, this Galaxy S24 has been pretty good for the most part. It is a smaller version of the S24 series, the smallest version, and it comes in at about a size about 5.79 inches tall, 2.78 inches wide, and 0.30 inches thin. So it is definitely small. It's smaller than the Google Pixel 9, so keep that in mind. It's a very small and compact device, and for the most part I love the build quality of this. I love the build quality of the S24 Plus and this version as well, and I have no issues with it. The only thing I would say, it is a little small, and I find myself using the Galaxy S24 Plus more than I used this device, just because I like bigger devices. You do have an IP68 dust and water resistance, so that is quite nice. Very durable device. 5.89 ounces is the weight, so it's very lightweight, fits in your pocket quite nicely, but like I said, I prefer larger devices. Going on over to the main perk of this device is going to be the display. You get a 6.2 inch dynamic LTPO display. It is an AMOLED, and it does have 120 Hz HDR10 plus, and that LTPO tech means that it can go all the way down to 1 Hz all the way up to 120. You get a peak brightness of 2600 nits, so this display does get bright enough outside. And like I said, this is one of the perks of these devices, is going to be the display. It is 1080 by 2340, so a little bit lower resolution than its bigger brother, the S24 Plus, covered in Corning Gorilla Glass 2. And like I said, no issues. I absolutely love the display of this device. You're running Android 14. Going on over to the performance area, you get the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of internal storage. You can go all the way up to 512 on this version, and that's where I did come into some issues with this. This device is not as smooth as the S24 Plus, and I'm sure the S24 Ultra, just because of that extra RAM those devices have. And I find myself having a little bit of stutters here and then on this device. And like I said, I find myself using the Plus version over this version just because it does feel snappier on those versions. On here, it does feel a little bit slower, especially when you restart this device and start it back up. It takes a little while to get going, and that is one of my qualms about this device, is going to be the performance. It's not as fast and snappy as the S24 Plus. So I will be trading this device in for the Google Pixel 9. I just have to send it back, which is why I'm doing this video on it, sort of a final farewell review on the Galaxy S24, just because I'm sending it in for Google, and Google's giving me $400 for this, so I think that's actually a pretty good deal. I actually got my trading kit yesterday, so I just gotta do this video and send this phone out. You get the Adreno 750 GPU, and like I said, performance is pretty good on here for most people. It'll still play your games and stuff. It's just, for me, I find the Plus version being a lot more snappier and a lot more powerful than this version. Your cameras over here, another perk of these devices, is going to be the camera quality. You get a 50 megapixel main sensor, aperture of f1.8, does support OIS and PDAF autofocus. You get a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with an aperture of f2.2, and it does have OIS as well with 3 times optical zoom capabilities. You get a 12 megapixel ultra wide aperture of f2.2 with 120 degree field of view. And yeah, the cameras on here are actually really good. The front facing camera is a 12 megapixel aperture of f2.2, by the way. Does support PDAF autofocus. You can record up to 4K 60 on the front and 8K 24 and 30 frames on the rear. Now the only thing I have with this version, the only problem I have with this phone and the S24 Plus is the zoom capabilities. They are not as good as the Ultras, and I kind of miss my Galaxy S23 Ultra just because of those 50 times zooms that you would get. So good on the zooming. And these devices unfortunately aren't that great because they don't have the periscopic telephoto lens. But I couldn't afford a S24 Ultra this year, so I got the S24 Plus. And I would say the zoom capabilities are not up to par with the Ultras, and I would think that is going to be the downside of the cameras. But overall, these are great camera, guys. These record really good video at 4K 60 frames per second. You can do it on the front and on the back. Pictures actually look phenomenal on here, and the ultra wide actually does a pretty good job on this device as well. And the video actually looks really good, nice and punchy colors. Might be a little too saturated for most people, but for me, I actually love the picture quality on here and the video quality. So that, again, along with the display, might be its strongest perks on here for the Galaxy S24. You do get stereo speakers. They are tuned by AKG, so that's really nice. They sound really good, and no issues with the stereo on here. No headphone jack, obviously, but yeah, speakers on here sound really good. And you do get Wi-Fi 6E on this device, Bluetooth 5.3. Your fingerprint sensor is going to be a ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, fast as always. Facial recognition, fast as always. Have no issues with that. And yeah, I actually do like the biometrics on here. They are fast and reliable. The battery is going to be a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and you do get 25 watt wire charging. And it is going to be from 0 to 50% in about 30 minutes. And you get 15 watt wireless charging, 4.5 watt reverse wireless charging, which means you could charge a pair of wireless earbuds or a watch on the backside. So that's really nice. Battery life could be better. It definitely might last you a full day, but you might have to end up charging it obviously before you go to bed, because the battery life is not the best on here. You probably could get a full day with light usage, but if you're out and about taking a lot of pictures and video, you're definitely going to have to charge this device at somewhere along the evening time, maybe even in the afternoon time. Now, I really do like this device. I've had it for a while, and this is going to be the marble gray color. It just did not really impress me in the performance side, the battery life, and along with those cameras with the zoom, along with the Galaxy S24 Plus, the zoom capabilities isn't as good as the Ultra. And as far as this base model Galaxy S24, I would definitely say go for the Plus version if you could afford it, or maybe even the Ultra. Obviously that is more of an expensive device, but these devices have been out for almost a year, so you could probably get some really good devices. If you like smaller devices, then this version might be great for you, but I would just say go for the Plus version. Has better performance, better battery life. You get a larger QHD display compared to a 1080p display, and you just will be more happier since this device does tend to have a little bit of a stutter here and there. So that is my final review of the Galaxy S24. Like I said, I will be getting rid of this device, and it's been a fun ride. That's all I can say. And thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and I'll see you next time here on Sick Eric Tech. Peace.